welcome everybody. Today we are very pleased to bring you an exclusive interview with Professor Ludo Diels, one of our esteemed advisory board members at the World BioEconomy Forum. Professor Diels is a doctor in chemistry and biotechnology and works at the University of Antwerp as research manager, sustainable chemistry for the Flemish Institute of Technological Research. Ludo is head of session for the very important Bioproducts Around Us section at the World BioEconomy Forum, to be held in Belgium, Brazil, October the 18th to the 20th. Ludo, welcome. Great to have you with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in the circular bioeconomy?
Thank you very much, Mark. And indeed, you already give a very nice presentation of myself. At the moment, my main job is to be the chairman of the public-private partnership ASPIRE, which is a partnership combining the 10 largest process industry sectors in Europe and making these sectors completely circular and climate neutral. I think it's needless to say that this is extremely important in function of the mission we have towards the future. And also it's needless to say that bioeconomy plays an important role in this approach as a feedstock, as energy, etc. So in that way, I'm strongly involved.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for that. So bioproducts, they are becoming more and more important. So to just describe a bioproduct, they're made from renewable resources. They're often able to be reused, recycled, and finally biodegrade. And they have actually become essential elements and ingredients of the circular bioeconomy. Can you comment on what progress you are seeing being made in bringing bioproducts to market?
Indeed, I see a lot of progress the last years, especially at the level of commercialization of bio-based materials and biopolymers. It all started a very long time ago with cellulose-based materials, or let us say paper-based materials. It is also largely accepted by the society. People see the link with biomass, they see the link with trees, so they understand that this is sustainable. And besides cellulose-based materials, we also have, for instance, starch or protein-based materials, but I think these are of minor importance. But now we see also a move towards, for instance, aliphatic polyesters like PLA. Polylactic acid is getting a classical plastic, which we use already very regularly in a lot of packaging materials, etc. Very recently, and I would say finally, we see a move towards, for instance, PHA, polyhydroxyalkanoates, and I still believe that the quality of PHA or the performance of PHA is still underestimated, but now it's moving. Many years it was not moving at all. And so in this way, we see the movement towards different kinds of biodegradable plastics. Another example is mulching films in agriculture, where it is even regulated in many countries, etc., that it must be biodegradable. So we see a lot of progress at the level of materials, polymers that are biodegradable. Let's move now to a next step, and this is bio-based. And there we see, for instance, that bio-based polyethylene is moving. There is a small start with bio-based polypropylene. And the advantage is that these polymers can enter really the recycling systems. They are not degradable. They enter the recycling systems. Another example is, for instance, and I like this very much, the breakthrough of polyamide 11. It's a bio-based nylon made from castor oil, and it can be used in 3D printing, for instance. This, of course, is quite perfect. We strive towards the use of sustainable feedstock, bio-based, so that's okay, but also to use less feedstock. So we have to move to additive manufacturing, and in that way, 3D printing is perfect. So I really like this very much as a new approach towards the future. But finally, and that's really a breakthrough, we see the movement toward bio-based aromatic molecules like PET, but also its derivative PEF, polystyrenes like in ABS, etc., all with a very good potential to become recycled. They're not degradable, but they can be recycled. And I believe that recycling of bio-based materials will become crucial in the defossilization of our materials. The more we introduce bio-based materials in the recycling loop, the more we can move away from these fossil-based materials and stop climate change. And in this way, we keep bio-based carbon in the loop, and this will work as a carbon sink.
Excellent. Excellent. It's really good to hear a person of your standing being so enthusiastic about, you know, the going ahead with you know, bioproducts. I mean, that's really excellent. Ludo, I have a second question for you here, which is, what do you see as the most prominent and interesting bioproducts emerging at the moment?
To start with, I certainly think that the new cellulose-based materials are getting very important. We see that we have now microfibrillated cellulose fibers, and also we have nanocellulose, we have adapted celluloses, modified celluloses. So we see a lot of innovations at the level of these classical cellulose-based materials. Further, all the materials I just mentioned are getting more and more important. But I would like to say something else, and that's the following. From an environmental point of view, the use of composites materials cannot be encouraged because we see that the disassembly is nearly impossible. But in practice, I see around me everything is becoming composite. All the materials we use are more and more composite. So there we have a problem. So either we must use regulation and put a ban on the use of composite materials because they are too difficult to recycle. Either we need to find a solution. And I think that a technical solution will be more easily accepted worldwide. So let's try to go for that one. Composites are composed of different materials bound together by special glues, additives, adhesives. And I see now that also these additives and adhesives are developed in a bio-based way. In the past, it was always fossil-based. And so we see that more and more, specifically from lignin, which is a residue from the pulp and paper industry, we can make these adhesives in a very good way. And if we will be able to make these biocomposites fully bio-based, it will be a step toward the full recycling and again avoiding the use of fossil-based materials, because such a material can at least be recycled in a thermal way. But on top, I expect several performance improvements from these innovative bio-based materials in the way that we can make in the future smart adhesives. It means that these adhesives will be able to change or to reverse their characteristics under certain conditions. And in that way, we can create these conditions to make that the composite will fall apart in its different components. And that will allow us to do even chemical recycling. It's a big challenge, but I think it will be possible the coming years.
So clearly there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of work ongoing regarding these very special products. So my last question, you're going to be moderating the panel Bioproducts Around Us at the event in Brazil. What will be the focus of the discussion?
We will start by presenting a few overviews of how smart managed forests and smart use of its biomass in the world can really create carbon sinks. There is a lot of things to do now around this topic, so we will really try to set a scene so that we can to pay a lot of attention to the right management in function of biodiversity and climate impact. And then we move to the real discussion on the applications with bio-based materials in the automotive, textile, construction, packaging sectors, but for instance, also in the toys sector. It's a little bit different, but it's nice to have it also in our approach. You will see that indeed the fact of being bio-based, either biodegradable, either recyclable, will play an important role in the final breakthrough of these materials in the manufacturing industry. So in our session, in the panel discussion, we will combine the process industry transforming biomass from the agro industry or the forestry into materials that will be assembled by brand owners into products, and then also back again into a new feedstock via recycling for new materials and products of the future. And that is exactly what we as consumers are looking for. We look for sustainable feedstock and recycled materials. We will focus on materials with a positive impact on climate, no negative impact or effects on biodiversity, and useful in a circular economy without any toxic effect, and hopefully also with an improvement of performance. So of course, really a big challenge. So I really hope to meet you all in person or virtual in Belém in October to discuss further these topics under panel 4 and 5. So I'm looking forward to see you all.
Thank you so much for your time, Ludo. That was a fascinating interview and discussion, and we will be bringing another head of session interview very shortly. So thank you very much, everybody.